Subscribe to Cine Picks right now because these father-daughter stories will hit you right in the heart. From protecting the people they love to fighting through impossible situations, these 5 movies show just how powerful that bond can be. But wait until you see number 1, you might need a tissue. Welcome back to Cine Picks, let's count them down. Starting at number 5, 8th Grade is the film that captured the most painfully honest portrait of adolescence in recent memory, and quietly delivered one of the most touching father-daughter relationships in modern cinema. Kayla is 13 years old, awkward, invisible at school, and drowning in the gap between who she is and who she desperately wants to be. Her dad, Mark, is a single father who doesn't always know what to say, but shows up every single time without fail, sitting across from her at dinner, watching her YouTube videos alone so she'll never know, trying his best with a daughter he can see is struggling and doesn't know how to reach. Josh Hamilton's performance as Mark is one of the most quietly devastating portrayals of single parenthood ever put on screen. The scene between them near the end of the film is the kind that makes you call your dad the next morning.
Kayla Day.
This cannot happen.
What was in there?
Just sorry to my hopes and dreams. I'm nervous all the time. I try really hard not to feel that way.
Number 4 is Captain Fantastic, and this one takes the father-daughter bond and drops it into the most unconventional setting imaginable. Viggo Mortensen plays Ben, a father who has raised his 6 children completely off the grid in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, teaching them to hunt, climb, read philosophy, challenge every assumption the outside world makes. When a family tragedy forces them to leave the wilderness and interact with conventional American life for the first time, the film becomes a beautiful, complicated meditation on what it actually means to be a good parent. The relationship between Ben and his eldest daughter, Keeler, is particularly powerful. She is the child most like him, and the one whose future most clearly reflects his choices back at him. Viggo Mortensen received an Oscar nomination for this role, and he earns every frame of it.
Will you be my water?
At number 3, Leon. The Professional gives us one of the most unlikely and most unforgettable surrogate father-daughter relationships in cinema history. Jean Reno plays Leon, a quiet, solitary hitman in New York City who reluctantly takes in 12-year-old Matilda after her family is killed by corrupt DEA agents, played by a terrifyingly unhinged Gary Oldman. Matilda, played by a young Natalie Portman in her film debut, has nowhere to go and nothing left. What develops between them is not what either of them expected. A gruff, impossible man learning to protect something more than just himself, and a girl learning that safety can exist even in the most dangerous of hands. The film is tense, visually stunning, and the bond between Reno and Portman is one of the most compelling in 90s cinema. A genuine classic. Coming in at number 2, The Father is the most quietly devastating film about the bond between a father and his adult daughter that cinema has ever produced. Anthony Hopkins plays Anthony, an 80-year-old man experiencing dementia, and the film is constructed entirely from his fractured, unreliable point of view, so that you experience his confusion and terror from the inside. His daughter Anne, played by Olivia Colman, is trying desperately to care for him, while he slips further away from her every day. Hopkins won the Academy Award for Best Actor for this role, and it is fully deserved. His performance is one of the most extraordinary things ever committed to film. But it's the relationship between father and daughter, the love underneath all the confusion, the grief of a daughter watching her father disappear while he's still standing in front of her, that makes this film almost unbearable to watch and completely impossible to forget. And the number 1 pick, Taken. If you want to see what a father who will do literally anything for his daughter looks like, this is the definitive answer. Liam Neeson plays Brian Mills, a retired CIA operative with a very particular set of skills, who watches his 17-year-old daughter Kim get kidnapped in Paris within the first 30 minutes of the film. What follows is one of the most relentlessly gripping action thrillers ever made, powered entirely by one simple, absolute truth. This father is not stopping. He is not negotiating. He is not going home without her. Neeson's voice on that phone call became one of the most iconic moments in 21st century cinema for a reason. It captures something primal and completely real about what a parent would do for their child. It is also, at its heart, a love story between a father and a daughter who is only just beginning to understand how much she is loved.